What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, June 18th. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter. I'm also a casino host and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. Got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Aundrea Murphy. She is a writer and producer out of KTLA 5 in Hollywood, California. But she's had some previous stops in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Jackson, Mississippi. She's a graduate of MTSU, which is Middle Tennessee State University. So we're going to talk to her about her why to journalism, talk to her about some of her favorite segments that she's produced, and get to know her a little bit, because that's the whole premise of this podcast, is being able to network, build connections, get to know people outside of their occupation, and also understand their why of why they do what they do. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, the talented Aundrea. Hello, Aundrea. How we doing?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing very good. Very good. It's very good to see your face. You look absolutely lovely today.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a delay. What'd you say?
I said it's nice to see you as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to welcome you to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. How's your week starting off so far?
Well, my week has been pretty good so far. It's currently my day off, though, so no work last night.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Same here. Day off, which is great that we got a chance to do this podcast. I want to reiterate to you why I wanted to bring you on before I start peppering you with all these questions. I know you're a writer and producer at KTLA, which is out there in Hollywood, California, my hometown state. And I know you've had producing before then in Jackson, Mississippi, and Charlotte, North Carolina, just to name a couple of your stops. You've been in journalism for a few years now. I'm a sports reporter. I've been doing this for a few years now as well, combination of Atlanta and now in Minnesota. So I love to hear people's stories and hear about their whys of why they came into the industry. Everybody's story is different and everyone has a story to tell. So it's just intriguing to see you do all that. And I want to get to know you, and I also want to ask some icebreaker questions and also hear your story once again.
Okay.
So with that being said, my first question is the same as it always is with every guest that I have on here. It is, what is your why, right? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models growing up or anybody that inspired you to want to get into journalism? What is your why of why you chose journalism?
So the reason why I chose journalism actually goes way back to when I was 10 years old. I started writing. I picked up a pen and started writing on this little book that I found in my drawer when I moved from this area in Knoxville to another place in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I started writing poetry. And as I was getting older, I started wanting to do writing for the rest of my life, like as a job. At first I thought it was like for like fictional writing. I used to write a lot of poetry, a lot of short stories, fictional stories. I entered a couple of contests growing up. And then when I was probably in 7th grade, I had this desire to get into journalism. So this is a calling for me. And I didn't necessarily have anyone to look up to growing up. Both of my parents, they were both they were both high school dropouts. I'm the first person to graduate from high school in my family and also go to college as well. So, but I remember when I was a little girl, my mom always encouraged me to like go to college and do something better than that I could have never done. So my mom was pretty much the catapult to get to where I am today.
I love that. I do. Congratulations on that, being the first one in your family. With that wonderful accent you have, I'm going to assume that you're from the South.
I am. I was born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee. I moved around a lot, though. I also lived in Ocilla, Georgia, for a couple of years, which is a very boony town. Only like,
Mm-hmm.
I think less than 2,000 people were living there when I was a kid.
Sure.
And the school that I went to, the middle school and the high school were all in one building. Like one hall was the middle school and the other hall was high school. So not
Yep.
a lot of people, like not many kids in the area. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I graduated from. I spent a lot of years in Atlanta, Georgia. So I graduated from Kennesaw State University with my college degree. So I'm very fond of Georgia. My family still lives down there with my mom, my uncle, and my aunt. So I typically go visit them a couple times a year. So yeah, a lot of ties to the South for sure.
Yes.
I love it. I love that. You went to Middle Tennessee State University.
I,
Um, Absolutely. So I want to know, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to MTSU?
you know, I know what it was because before I went to MTSU, I was going to a community college in what was it called? I don't even remember what it was anymore. It's been so long. But I
Hmm.
went to state community college for a couple of years. It took me like I think 3 years to get through community college. I had a lot of personal issues going through the time that put me back a year,
Sure.
but um, there were a bunch of colleges that came to the school one day trying to convince students to choose their school to finish the rest of their degree,
Hmm.
and I don't know that I just was naturally drawn towards Middle Tennessee State University. There was just something about it, and plus it was. I looked at the journalism program and saw that it was like one of the best in the state, and not just the state but the country as well, from what I researched. Um, but it was kind of funny because when I was going to MTSU, or not just MTSU, but Water State, I kept on bouncing back and forth between journalism or making up my mind if I want to be in radio.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what's up. I like that.
yeah. See, I was a radio DJ at my college station for a couple of years too, and I really enjoyed that. But when I graduated from MTSU, I had Mr. Lee Neely from WAPT News in Jackson, Mississippi, reach out to me. He saw my producer reel that I did for a class project and posted on YouTube for a grade. And he saw that and was impressed by it. And he asked me if I would be interested to go to Jackson, Mississippi. So that's how I started my journey from, college graduate to being hired as a producer.
Absolutely. On here with Aundrea Murphy from KTLA 5 on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. She's a news producer and writer out there. I'm going to ask you some favorite questions. Okay. So some of these favorite questions, you just give me the 411 off the rip and let me know what some of your favorite things are. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's rock with it. Favorite meal you like to eat?
Oh goodness. I ever since I married my husband, I really got into like cooking a lot of curry dishes. Um, my husband's from India, so I learned how to make so many different Indian meals. One of my personal favorites now that I recently discovered is fried okra with some potato and onions.
Wow.
So yummy. My husband loves that dish. My husband's favorite dish that I cook for him is a butter chicken, and I also love
Oh,
coconut strawberry. That's my most favorite dish that I can make.
absolutely. There's no question about it. Those two things are very, very good. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
I've actually never attended a concert
Oh
before.
my, oh no, we're going to change that, sweetheart. We're gonna do something about that. Okay, give me a concert you would like to attend. Like if there's an artist you want to see in person, what would that artist be?
I guess it would be Taylor Swift if it had to be anyone. I
Wow.
never, yeah, but I never been to a concert. The closest one I've ever got to was at Wild Adventure Park in Georgia. Raven Simone went there for a concert, I guess,
Oh
or
my.
thing there, and she was the closest I ever got. And that was back in the day when she was still like really big on Disney Channel. You know,
Yeah.
that's
When you said Raven Simone, that told the whole story right there. That's for sure. No question on that one. Okay, I feel it. But we're going to have to work on that. We're going to get you to a concert, okay? At least one in your lifetime, no doubt. All right. Next question. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
oh that's honestly that's probably kind of hard because I've been to so many different places in my life. I've been in New York City. That was probably one of my most favorite places that I went to when I was 19 years old for a trip for a was I 19? Yeah, I was about 19 years old. Just graduated from high school and I loved it. But the probably the most recent favorite trip of mine that I've ever gone to was my husband's hometown in Hojai, India. We
Okay.
actually had our wedding ceremony in India just a couple weeks ago, not that long ago. So
Okay. Okay. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. That's lovely. I love to hear that. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person?
you know, I this probably goes back to high school. I probably like watching football the most if I had to watch any sports. I'm not a big sports fanatic,
Mhm.
but I'm a marching band. And when I was in marching band, I would obviously watch a lot of football games from high school. And then when I
Mhm.
got watching it at home and or on the TV or something. So I like watching football with my husband. Whenever we do watch, we actually watched the Super Bowl together this year in our living room. That was a whole lot of fun for us.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Coming from the South, I would think football would be something that you would definitely check out because it's big time down there. There's no question. Either Southwest or Southeast doesn't matter. But as a sports reporter, I got to throw that in there for sure. Now, my last set of favorite is favorite restaurant you like to attend.
Right now it is probably Podidosa. It's a little restaurant here in that me and my husband like to go to in near LA. Um, we go there almost every week for breakfast on like after I get home from work on Sundays. And we like to order a dosa, a masala dosa. It's got potatoes, it's got peas, it's got other vegetables inside of it. And it's so good, it's so fluffy. And the dosa, I don't have enough room to show you how big it is, but
Hmm.
it's pretty big. Like it comes out on this plate. It's like about I would say about 4 feet long,
Wow.
probably maybe.
Okay.
And we usually half it. Well, maybe not 4 feet, but it's pretty big.
Okay, I feel that. I feel that. Okay, so let's talk about your day to day, right? What you do as far as writer, producer. We know is not conventional times. As far as 8 to 4, 9 to 5 business times. I work 2 to 12s, so I work 10 hours a day. But I'm sports nights and weekends. Talk to me about your schedule of what you do, how you do it, what time do you go in, how do you get ready for a process like that?
Right. So right now I'm a producer on for Thursdays and Fridays. I produce to 4 a.m. on Thursdays and Fridays, and then weekends I produce at 6 a.m. So on Thursdays and Fridays, I'm usually in work at 10 p.m. So I wake up like about, well, it depends. I have insomnia, unfortunately. So my sleep schedule is a little bit spotty and a little bit of everywhere, but I typically wake up like about 8 p.m. I'll get ready for the day. I'll pack up my lunch if I don't already have it packed. And
Sure.
I'll go and I'm at work until after my show airs, which is not done airing until like 5 p.m. because I produce an hour show. And then after not 5 p.m., excuse me, 5 a.m. Um, after my show is done, I usually just go over my emails, check and see if there's any like final show notes I need to, send off and see if anyone needs my help, like with writing teases and stuff. And then once I'm done with all that, I usually take off. The weekends are different. I don't go into work till 1 a.m. And
Wow.
yeah, which is a few hours later. But my show goes on air at 6 a.m. So um I usually start putting together my show, and that it only takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to build a show. Um And once I'm done building, I'll start writing or assigning the stories to people. I usually come up with what the reporters need to report on the weekends, and I usually throw that off in our chat to the other producers and the EP to approve and see if they want that. And then we just bounce ideas back and forth. And then usually when I get off from work, or before I get off from work, I usually, again, I'll offer my help. I'll offer with writing teases or stories or wherever anybody needs me for. And then I usually go home. Driving in LA on the weekdays is not fun. Especially
I know it's not.
Yeah. That's why I prefer producing the most, because I'm usually on the road before traffic hits real bad. Mondays are different because I'm a writer on Mondays. So again, my entire schedule changes. On Mondays, I work from 2:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. By the time I get off from work, traffic is awful.
I bet it is.
Yeah, and I live in Anaheim, so it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to drive home from Hollywood.
Right.
So, because traffic is just awful. There was no traffic, it's just 35 minutes. So.
Okay, so how close are you to Disneyland?
I'm actually probably about a mile or so from Disneyland. I could probably walk there if I wanted to.
Wow, that's pretty close. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty neat. Talk to me about mental health and work-life balance, right? You say you're married. I'm sure you have friends. Obviously, you're definitely somebody who's very personable. I certainly wouldn't mind being around you or hanging out with you at all. So I'm sure that you have friends that you hang out with. But talk about that work-life balance and how that balances out, but also talk about mental health, right? Because you do work overnight is the tough shift, right? That's when most people are sleeping when it's overnight. So talk about that mental health and how you avoid things like burnout and how you avoid things like being overworked and underpaid.
Me and my husband had this discussion probably not too long ago about learning how to live our lives. Even though me and my husband, we work two completely different schedules. He has more of a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday. And I am a whatever person who works overnight from Thursday to Monday. So we've been going through this process of learning how to make time for each other and time to live a life. Me and my husband, we like to go visit the Hindu temple out in Chino Hills sometimes. We make time to go for a hike. We have two animals that we love dearly. We have a husky. His name is Percy, and we also have a cat named Luna. We go for walks with our dog all the time. That's been really helpful with my mental health. Is just going out and getting some fresh air out in the sunlight, because that's one of the benefits about working overnights, is that I get to see the sun more than anyone else. Because for a very brief time when I was working back in Jackson, Mississippi, I did work a normal schedule, from 9 to 6 p.m. And I never got to see the sun. Never. That was really depressing. But with this shift, with working overnights, I'm able to see the sun. I'm able to go out and enjoy the sun and do things during the daytime that I wouldn't be able to do if I was working, a regular shift. So as for my mental health, it has been, I'm not going to sugarcoat it or anything. It's been a journey and a half, because this job can be very taxing sometimes, because you see things that are so terrible, and sometimes you see uncensored things, and it's hard to it can weigh down your mind a lot when you see something that's really hard to.
Sure.
So I think you were about to ask me a question.
No. I was just gonna kind of elaborate on that by saying that it's a question that's worth asking, being in this industry, because those things that I pointed out about overworked, underpaid, burnout. There's an A side to this, right? The A side is what you do: writing, producing, editing, going out, storytelling. That's why we all became journalists, because we love to storytell. We love to tell stories. We love talking to people. But there's also a B side, and sometimes people don't realize that B side because it's not evident, right? Sometimes the money is low. Sometimes relationships suffer due to time when you get off. So that's why it's an important question to ask, to be like, okay, how do you deal with that mental health? Who do you talk to? What are some of the things that you do to kind of calm down your mental health and things of that nature?
Right. So something that I do, I talk to my husband about everything. He's the closest person that I have in my life. But if I really need, like, if I feel like I really need to seek out help, that's when I'll probably reach out to maybe a therapist. Like most of the jobs I've had, they have really good programs through I think it's called EAP. I can't remember off the top of my head, but most newsrooms will have where you can reach out to a therapist and have like a couple of free sessions every year. And
Mm-hmm.
I've done it a couple of times and it has really helped me a lot. And sometimes I will continue those sessions even after my work is done paying for them like fully and stuff. And that has helped me extremely, especially whenever I see something like too hard.
Oh, no question. If someone, Aundrea, came up to you and was like, I want to do what you do, being there in Hollywood, you're in one of the best markets as far as media goes. There's not too many more markets that you can go up to. Talk to me if there was a student, an intern, someone who's maybe older, like a little bit older, like myself, who's been graduated from college for a few years. Talk about what kind of advice you would give that individual, male or female, to get into that wants to get into this industry.
I would probably tell them that they need to, actually know that they want to do this business, because it's like you said, it's very, you don't get paid the best, especially when you're first starting out in the business. You're not going to be paid a lot.
Right.
That's very demanding. There's no such thing as a day off. Like, yes, we have days off, but news is 24/7, including holidays, and it's something. And plus, you will be scrutinized by a lot of people because you're a journalist,
Yep.
and you have to think about that when you join this field. It's not easy. I love what I do. I believe what I do truly matters. This is something I knew I wanted to do since I was a little girl.
Sure.
And I am so glad that I've decided to pursue this career, and I'm still pursuing it. I still have very big goals I would like to reach for myself one day in the future. But I've been in the business for 6 years, and I am so glad to this day that I went through the 6 years of college it took me to get through to be where I am today. And I'm, like I said, I've been this for 6 years. I love what I do, and I truly do believe it matters. And whenever I see someone announce on LinkedIn or on Facebook that they decided to leave the field, it makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me feel kind of bad, because I see that we're losing a lot of journalists who's been in the
Yeah.
business for going for something else, like in communications and whatnot. So you have to be really dedicated to join this field. And yeah, so, but I'm here, and yeah.
No, I feel that. I do. I'm Aundrea Murphy, writer and producer of KTLA 5 on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. You do have to have a passion for this. There's no question about it. You got to love what you do. I love the fact that every day I wake up, there's something new that I'm doing. Whether it's covering something, writing something, taking pictures, doesn't matter what it is. It's always new. It's always fresh. But again, you have to learn that B side, because you do sometimes have to deal with politics. I'm the only African American at my station. That does matter at times, because when you have people that read your product and read your stuff, sometimes they might say the silliest, what to you. It is what it is. So you have to keep it pushing and keep it going. But you have to be able to deal with it. You got to have thick skin. Like you said, being able to do it for the right reasons is very important. And you have to really sit down and weigh out the pros and the cons. Does that work for you? like I said, you was married. You're married, not married, but you're married right now. And
Mhm.
I'm sure that sometimes as far as spending time together, you got to try to make things work and sacrifice to make it work, because working two completely different shifts is crazy. Sometimes you may have to work longer hours because you get called in on breaking news and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So um, you set those boundaries in your life. I'm sure of it, but it probably took you a little while to do that, right? I don't know if you did that coming out like as soon as you graduated from Middle Tennessee State. I'm not sure if you did that, but now you feel like that you're confident and you're setting those boundaries, and I think that's what most people have to come in and do as well.
Yeah. Yes.
I love it. I love it. So this next question is a bonus question. Do you take hard news home with you? When you're doing news and you're writing for news, or you have those kind of stories that you're overseeing and producing, do you ever take stories home with you?
Like I don't think so. I usually try to put a line between my work life and my personal life. And I do try to keep up to date with what's going on at work and stuff, like what stories they're following and whatnot. Because, when I go back to work for Thursday morning, produce my 4 a.m., I need to have an idea of what happened the last 2 days that I wasn't in the newsroom, But other than that, I try not to think too much about what's happening in the world,
Sure.
because it's already taxing about thinking about like all the hard news, like what's going on in politics, what's going on like breaking news wise, what's going on, I don't know, just in general. It's already hard enough, and that can be a very heavy burden to carry if you just think about it constantly. So whenever I am home, I try to put myself in a place where I can relax with my husband and enjoy the time with him. And if anything, I've learned that life is really short and it can end in an instant at
Yeah.
any, because when you're producing news, when you're a writer, when you're doing anything in the newsroom, anything can happen in a moment.
Sure.
So
Sure.
learn how you can separate the two. So
I love that. Time for this or that, Aundrea. And what this is basically throwing two things at you, and you get to choose one or the other. Are you with me?
yes.
All right, here we go. It's going to be very fun. This first question is important. Popeyes or KFC?
Oh, that I would have to say KFC.
Wow. Oh, that was a shocker right there. I'm not going to lie to you. Being from the South, I thought you would have said Popeyes, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm
I
with
grew up
it.
see, okay? That was the joint in my hometown. We
I
didn't
feel
have
it.
Popeyes. I don't think I've ever had Popeyes until after I lived in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay. Say less. Okay. I got you. All right. So this next question is favorite chicken wing flavor, barbecue or lemon pepper?
Probably lemon pepper.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
I like both. I probably like hot wings, like hot sauce wings. But if I had to choose between the two, I would probably say wet.
Okay. Okay. Now, do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Boneless. I know. I totally bad. People have mixed opinions about that, but I like boneless. I don't like eating bone.
I understand. Listen, you buy them, you eat them the way the hell you want to eat them. That's all I say. That's all good. I'm with that. I'm totally with that. Okay. The next four have to do with music concerts that you rather attend. So here we go. Which music concert would you rather attend? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Probably Drake.
Okay. Which music concert would you rather attend? Brandy or Monica?
I don't know either of those two.
Oh no, you no. Oh hell no. No, you did not just say you don't know Brandy or Monica. Come on now. What? Oh, okay. Hold on. We're gonna have a substitute then. First time ever on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, we do a substitute. Here we go. Luke Combs or Luke Bryan?
No. No. No, I don't do country either.
Oh my goodness. So no R&B and no so are you strictly rap? I can deal with that.
I don't do rap, man.
Aundrea, what the hell genre do you do?
Uh, Japanese pop,
I'm
K-pop.
done. I'm done. Okay. Oh Lord. Japanese pop. Are you talking about like BTS like that?
Yes, it's K-pop. But yes, I like BTS. They're not my favorite K-pop group.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna have to switch up the music then. Lord have mercy. Okay, we're gonna go straight to desserts. How about desserts? Do you like desserts?
Yes.
Here we go. I'm gonna throw out 4 desserts for you, and you gotta eliminate one of these, okay? One of these that you can't eat again. So here we go. First one is cake. So that's any type of cake. Second one is ice cream. Okay. Third one is candy. So any type of candy. The last one is cookies. Which one are you getting rid of that you never gonna eat again?
Candy.
Okay, we back in good graces again. We back in good graces again. That's good. Okay, all right. Do you like potato chips?
Of course.
Okay, same concept. 4 brands. You got to get rid of one of them. So here we go. First one is hot Cheetos. The next one is Ruffles. The third one is Doritos. The last one is Lay's. Which brand you getting rid of?
I know you're gonna hate me for this. I can already feel it. Hot Cheetos.
No, no, absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Now,
really?
yeah, absolutely not. I'm not gonna hate you for that.
I talked to is obsessed with hot Cheetos. They're just not my thing.
They're okay. I mean, they're not terrible, but I'm not gonna get upset. Now, if you would have said Ruffles, we would have been fighting. Ain't no way in the world. Yeah, Ruffles. I mean, sour cream and cheddar is the greatest chip ever made.
Yes.
Ever
Oh,
made. Okay. Okay. You back in good graces, girl. You back in good graces. All right, here we go. For the more this or that. Basketball or which one would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or football?
football.
Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling? Would you go badminton or bowling?
Badminton.
Wow. Okay, you're in the minority on that one. You're in the minority.
Well, I
Okay.
broke about 6 years ago, so I
Oh, okay.
don't bowl anymore. So it's easier to do like motions like that
Mm-hmm.
uh, than bowling.
Enough said. I got you on that. Okay, which one would you rather be doing at your job? Would you rather be a writer or a producer?
Oh, producer. I'm a producer at heart. I've been doing producing for like 6 years. So
Okay.
I'm not, like going like writing for someone else's vision, but I have a vision as well. So I just prefer producing.
All
So
right. Now, do you drink juice or soda?
I don't drink soda and I really don't drink juice.
Okay. So so here we go. So I want to ask this last this or that question, okay? Because I have some substitute here. I wrote down a list of questions just in case. Okay. So here's this or that. This is a music question. Okay. All
Okay.
right. So which concert would you rather attend? Now you know about the old school music, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Would you rather go to, and this is hypothetical, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Oh, that is so easy. Michael Jackson.
That you said that's easy. Oh my gosh.
Jackson from when like back in his younger days.
Okay, okay, all right. I mean, it's not a bad choice, but you just talking about it was easy. Like Prince ain't no slouch now. I'm
You
just
know,
saying.
I like Prince okay. I don't know. There was just something about Michael Jackson and like I don't know with back when he was in the Thriller days and then
Hmm.
Dead and stuff. I love that jam. I used to listen
Okay.
to music when I was in high school and stuff, and I loved it. I actually wrote a play once with his, and I added "Beat It" purposely in a play. So
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's all right. I love that. I love that you chose Michael Jackson. If you wasn't in journalism, what career would Andrea have chose to pursue and why?
Oh goodness, I probably would have picked maybe something in radio. I've always wanted to be an on-air personality. I never saw myself like working behind the scenes. I've always saw myself like out in front of a camera or behind a mic, like in a radio station. And it was just, I don't know, I like being the center of attention in a way, or just being able to talk. I like to talk to people as if I've known them for a long time and treat them like my friend and stuff.
Hmm.
And I just I'm such a people person. I love talking to people, and that was just something I've always wanted to do, was like be a host of a show of some sort. So,
What would the show name be called?
if I could go back to college, I would probably take my last show and call it Cover This. Possibly. Cover This was one of my favorite shows I ever produced in college. It was a show where I picked cover artists and played their cover music from different songs and genres and whatnot. Like one of my favorite cover artists to play on my show was his name is Jonathan Young. I love Jonathan Young. He was one of my favorite artists to play. Then
Mm.
I had Lian Lee. I loved her a lot. It's an
Oh,
anime. She's an anime. She plays like sings a bunch of like anime covers and stuff. Or Ron Lee, and I can probably name a whole bunch. Um,
I'm gonna have to Wikipedia them. I don't know who that is.
oh, Ron Lee.
Yeah, I don't know who Ron Lee is. I don't know the second person you said. I don't even know the first person you said. I'm gonna have to Wikipedia all of them.
Jonathan Young is probably one of the more popular ones, but he does an array of different cover artists, cover songs. Like he did Cascada, Every Time We Touch. He did a metal version to that, I think, or electric. He also does a lot of metal versions to like Disney songs and stuff. It's just
Mm.
different things.
Okay, okay, okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What advice has someone gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Uh, let's see. I can probably, if I had to think of any advice, it would probably be from my mammy or probably my mom. Both of them were very important. I lost them both. I lost my mom when I was 20, almost 21.
Right.
Um, my mom, she told me that, you know, you need to do what you love because life is so short. And it's just, it's better to find your purpose while you're young too. But it's okay if you don't know exactly what you want until you're older as well. That's probably one of the best things she has told me. From my grandmother, she also had to remind me a lot that, hey, you're young still. You got plenty of time in the world. You
Hmm.
don't have to worry about something that's not coming here for like another couple of years. Just worry about what's happening now and let the rest come into place.
I like that. I like that advice. I like that advice. Beautiful advice from your mom and your grandmother. That's awesome. That really is. Um, what is something that you want to talk about that we haven't touched up on yet on this episode before we conclude?
I would probably want to remind everyone that even when times seem hard, just to keep on going for it, because one day it's going to be worth everything. I remember when I was going to college, I was working overnights full time and going to college full time during the day. And those were some of the hardest years of my life, especially the last 2 years. Like when I was going to MTSU and studying, they were so hard. But I thank myself every single day that I just bit the bullet and I kept on going. I kept on, and I can proudly say now that I went through college with little to no help.
Right.
And I hope that one day, whenever I have children of my own, that I can share my story with them and hopefully inspire them, that for them to reach for big things in their lives as well. even
Sure.
if
Absolutely.
so.
No, that's great. No, that really is, and I love you saying that. It's great to get to know what you do, how your process, the different stops that you've had, your why into journalism. I wish you nothing but continued success in the LA KTLA 5. I know I know the company recently had a loss in Sam Rubin. God rest his soul. Is there any words that you can share about him before we conclude this Work Hard, Play Harder podcast? Because he was a staple at KTL 5,
He was.
KTLA.
He's a legend at my station, and I knew that before even going to KTLA. I didn't realize the just how big he was in the newsroom till I was actually there, and I got to see him every single day on set, and just seeing how bright his face was. And whenever he talked about all of the stories and stuff, and whenever he interviewed people, he was very real. I didn't get a chance to get to know Sam personally, but from what I knew of him, he was a good man. He was a very good man with a good, kind heart.
Awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Rest in peace, Mr. Sam Rubin. And Aundrea, this has been a very good conversation. I'm very happy you hopped on my podcast, learned a lot about you. We're going to have to get you to a concert, girl. We're definitely going to have to do that. We're going to work on that. And we're going to get you some more music as far as differentiate in the genres of music. Although I'm not sleeping on that Japanese and that K-pop. I'm not sleeping on that. But we're going to get you a little bit more differentiate. That's what we're going to do. So thank you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. And we'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you for having me.
No doubt.